and I do believe very powerfully in the breathing exercises, because I know they work, and I know that if people do them sincerely and with dedication, there is a massive amount of benefit. And that's not just from the people I've taught, but the millions of people who have done it worldwide have verified that. I mean, how can it be bad for you? If you start learning how to deep breathe, thereby controlling your stresses, your tensions, your breathing disorders go like this. People with breathing problems, or like allergies, they go very quickly. People with stress, depression, anxiety, that goes very quickly. Anything else which is more underlying conditions or long-term conditions, they take a bit of time, but really they say the practice of like 9 months is crucial. It's like a new body. It's like a baby being born in 9 months. Your whole biochemistry changes so significantly that the body becomes anew. And that's how powerful pranayama is. But I was saying to people, the key is not that it's new. This is ancient knowledge, but the key is that Swami Ramdev, back in 2004, when he first kind of started, actually started increasing the quantity of the breathing that people did in yoga, breathing exercises, in yoga generally. So generally the focus in physical yoga was just about physical yoga, and symbolically people might do about 5 minutes of breathing at the beginning and 5 minutes at the end. Again, like I said, that was symbolic mostly. It didn't really have much of an impact. But when he started saying, no, let's go for minimum half an hour, you need to do this for a good 1 hour, that's when people started getting massive benefits. Yeah. So I do get some messages from people saying, look, I can't manage even half an hour. Then look, I'm saying to you, well, my response to that would be, your schedule is all wrong. You have to change. If you can't create half an hour for yourself in a 24-hour day, you're the most important person. Now, if everything goes wrong around you, God knows how many people are dependent upon you. And even if they weren't, the point is, if you can't do half an hour for yourself, then I don't really see, what you're doing with your life. So when people say things like that, I know some people have lots of commitment. I would say, learn to get up earlier. Sleep a little bit later. Get up a bit earlier. Whatever it requires, whatever it takes. Yeah. If this is a Sanjeevani booty that is being given to you, if this is an elixir that is being given to you, are you just going to throw it away? Prevention is always better than cure, isn't it? But it's about then putting in the effort. So today, we are going to focus on 2 exercises at the beginning, firstly. And I call these are very important exercises, but they're a bit disruptive in terms of they don't allow us to be in that meditative state. However, those of you who have been following me, Bhastrika, followed by Kapalbhati, followed by Anulom Vilom, followed by Ujjayi Pranyama. So there's 3 versions of Bhastrika: Kapalbhati, Anulom Vilom, and Ujjayi Pranyama. This is what you should be doing in that order. Now, I'm quite happy when you get better at the Ujjayi, which is what we're going to learn, that you bring Ujjayi Pranayama for the throat in between the Kapalbhati and the Anulom Vilom. Okay? However, this pranayama, which is called Ujjayi, is quite disruptive. Like I said, if you're in that flow, doing those, as I've explained, this is what you should be doing. Okay, with a bit of basic meditation at the very beginning. So that's the most important bit. The basic meditation, 3 types of Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, Anulom Vilom, and Ujjayi Pranayama, which is with the sound. Okay, which is very similar to the breathing exercise for the lungs. But this you can do separately. Okay, and also the other one is Agni Saar for the stomach. This is to increase the good flora of bacteria in our small intestines, which deals with, if you like, it's 70% of your immune system response, if you like. That 6 meters of intestines where the food and the drinks go in, and then it starts dealing with it, how it's going to absorb it, how it's going to deal with the nutrients and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. That's the response of the body. So correcting your gut bacteria is crucial. But both of them require a lot of movement. So when you are in this state, I'd like you to keep that separate. Do these two separately, okay? With this COVID-19, this corona situation, a lot of people are getting sore throats. And my own experience of any type of flu type symptom in the past is as soon as I feel anything coming on, I do this exercise morning, afternoon and evening, a good 5 minutes, about 5 to 10 times, yeah, this exercise, and I hit the nail on the head, literally. It stops. It doesn't go any further. Now, I'm not saying this is the be-all, end-all, because we know very little of this disease and it keeps changing what it's doing. Maybe because it's a very manipulated virus, who knows. But whatever, and it is such a strange virus that they're not able to see how it impacts us, but we need to know how to strengthen our immunity. So we've done that through the lungs exercises, and we need to keep that going. If you have underlying conditions and you're what's called a vulnerable person, I strongly suggest you do breathing exercises in the morning and in the evening, before breakfast and before your evening meal. And I suggest you don't eat much after your evening pranayamas, okay? Then there is one other pranayama which I am wanting to teach you today, which is called Bhramari. But Bhramari is the one which relaxes the mind, very much so, okay? And takes us again into that meditative state, but it involves the Ujjayi Pranyama, which is the sound one. Knowing how to chant that sound, okay, which is the sound of the Omkara, or the Om sound, yeah? So we're not going to say the word, the holy word, we will just recite the sound, okay? Not important to chant the word. The sound is important. It's the sound that creates vibration. We want to learn that one as well. So that's one other extra one that I do want people to learn. And that one I'd like them to also do, either as part of these 5 which I mentioned, or if you can, but if not, do it before going to sleep. And you will sleep like a baby. Yeah? You will sleep very well indeed. This sound that I've got, which is a sound of the Tanpura, which is from this little instrument, a square box called the Ragini. You can buy from Indian musical shops. And this has that pa and sa sound. So that lower sound is pa, and the higher sound is sa. But this sa is actually the normal sa on the normal scale. It's not even the high sa. And that is what you would need to do for Bhramari. It completely removes and destroys stress, depression, anxiety, opens up the mind, and especially the blockages of the mind, we say. And when we talk about blockages of the mind, I'm not just talking about things which prevent you from being open-minded. Yeah? It is that as well. But it's also about, we call it man ki granthiyon ko kholo. In Hindi, that is, open up these blockages which don't allow your mental, your intellectual, your emotional and your spiritual development. So when this powerful vibration and this sound is felt inside the head resonating, it does start making you so much more what we call vyapak, like Akash, the element of Akash, which is the middle finger, which is the space. And your whole mind expands like the space. In fact, the mind can go all the way to the end of space, and there is no end of space because it keeps expanding. But the point is that your mind has the capability of here suddenly reaching in India, or suddenly reaching in Australia, or if you knew what the end of the universe looks like, or that star of billion and trillions of miles away, if you had some kind of visualization of it, you could be there in a split second. That's how vyapat the mind is. Okay? So do you see how much space there is there? And therefore, so much clutter can come into it. This sound removes that clutter. It's like, look, the experiences of your life, what I'm about to tell you is very powerful. The experiences of your life, good or bad, are your experiences. Okay? You can't, just like in the Harry Potter film, my daughter wanted me to watch all of them today, and she goes, you like with the wand, they take the wand and they can take the thought out and bring the thought out and just replay it, or just probably throw it away. If only we had that luxury of throwing away our bad experiences and our bad thoughts. We don't have that luxury. So you have to learn to live with your good thoughts and your bad thoughts, your good experiences, and your bad experiences. However, what does Bhramari Pranayama do? The bumblebee Pranayama it's called. The bumblebee sound is the sound of Om, the Omkara sound. It's the same sound I just said to you, which we do in Ujjayi Pranyama, which you would do in this exercise, which I would like to teach everyone. So please make a lot of effort to try and learn this sound. Okay, go back to the videos I was referring to. Anyway, that sound, the sound of Om, suppresses all our negative emotions and takes them to the bottom, and it only allows the good emotions and those feelings, those emotions which are good for your development, for you to live. It allows them to rise like a float. It comes to the top. Now, there's nothing better than that, and there's nothing better you can expect than to do that, because you can't just, like I said, throw your experiences out. They'll constantly keep coming up like waves, and they come out like volcanic eruptions in some people, and then you lose all sense. But if you had a technique, a breathing technique, using a very powerful vibration or sound which is at a certain hertz, and it takes your negative emotions and suppresses them and allows the good emotions to come up, isn't that powerful? Give me a thumbs up for that. But you see, all of this stuff is really, really very powerful, and I wish you could just experience it as much as I have and always do. But I know some of you do know this because you've been connected with it as well. When something is this good, this is my nature, by the way. I want everybody to learn it. And you know, at the end of the day, what do I want from you? I don't want anything from anyone. I'm not asking you for any favors or money or anything. I don't want anything. All I want you to do is just to listen to me, to contemplate on what I just said, meditate on your heart and do it and benefit from it. Yeah? Everybody should benefit from this. This is Bhagwan's compassion, God's grace. When Bhagwan shares his compassion, Bhagwan isn't going to come out and meet every one of you in face to face. You have to be worthy of that. But God shows his grace in many ways. Through your mother, the love you receive from your parents, your father, that's Bhagwan's grace. The love you receive from others. Even though I don't know you, the love you're receiving from me, because I have a lot of genuine compassion and feelings for people who are suffering. And I've always had that from a very, very young age. You know, I would just sit there and start crying if I saw something. I was always very soft-hearted like that. Yeah? But this is a very important thing to have, compassion. When you learn to share other people's sorrows and grief, and to try and remove people's burdens, their grief, their depression, their stress, this is a very powerful experience. And this experience, I've always enjoyed sharing what I know is good. But it's up to you whether you can accept that and bring that into your life. And I really sincerely pray all of you do, because it is a beautiful science. Okay, so without further ado now, I'm going to ask you to think about Ujjayi Pranayama first. Okay, so for the throat, we're going to tighten the throat. So this is to correct our thyroid and parathyroid glands. It's to deal with hypo and hyperthyroid problems. Okay, I'm coming closer to the camera because there's my normal chin, face. See how I pushed my chin forward and that went in the throat. Now, with that in, I can still talk, but I'm not going to talk anymore because my breath was fine, it's good, breath is going out. But now I'm going to breathe in, not through the mouth, through the nose. I pulled in quickly the air through the nose. Watch again. Tighten the throat first. So there's my throat, and I'm constricting it. Then I'm pulling the air in very quickly through the nose. And did I make that sound, or was that sound naturally being made? The latter. The sound was naturally being made because of the constriction. The air is coming through a tighter space, so it creates this sound. Watch again. I am breathing in small portions, okay? But I'm only breathing in. I'm not breathing out. I have to fill my lungs by breathing in. And I can either breathe in continuously, or I can breathe in these small intervals. If you do it in these small intervals, it's fine, but you must not breathe out, okay? You must keep filling the lungs. The tongue needs to roll up and touch the inside of the mouth, on the ceiling of the mouth, okay? This is called Khichdi Mudra. It goes even further back usually. See that? Now continuous. Watch this. Tighten the throat first. Notice it's... Let me breathe out. Did you notice that was quite a coarse, quite a harsh kind of sound? But as I kept doing it, it became a little bit higher, the pitch towards the end. That's because the throat starts getting clearer and clearer. So, quite a lot of explanation there. There's a particular hand mudra. You take the middle finger, which is the space or ether finger, and you bring it into the base of the thumb and you place the thumb on top. This is called Shunya Mudra. Okay? This is the one you're going to be using. Okay? Shunya means zero, by the way. Like that. Okay? Notice my nostrils moving, look. No tension on the face still. I cannot breathe in anymore now. That's the max. When you reach the max, let me breathe out again. There are two things you need to do. Okay, so you see it's quite a complicated pranayama. It's called Ujjaii Pranyama. Okay, so once you breathe in, that's only half the story. Well, 1/3 of it. Then you need to lock the chin like so. So you don't just drop your neck all the way forward like this. You keep straight, but you just bring the chin in so you feel it doesn't need to, chin doesn't need to touch the chest, but you need to do this. This is called a lock. A lock means you're blocking the air by locking it there. This is called, its name is Jalandhar Bandh. Yes, like the city in Punjab, Jalandhar. Jalandhar used to be a Rakshas, a demon that used to live there who was killed. This is Indian religious history, yes. and this is related. Anyway, so this lock, and then you've got to lock underneath here. It's called the Mooladhara Bandh. Okay, Mooladhara means the root chakra. The root chakra, you have to lock down there. That is just above the anus, at the coccyx bone, at the tip of the spine. That's the last bone in the spine, in the sacral bone region. We do concentrate on Mooladhara a lot, and that's where the Kundalini energy, they say, resides. Okay? So how do you do the Mooladhara Bandh? So this lock, you know, like this. So after you breathe in, you're going to do 2 locks, this one and there. And then basically you pull up from the lock at the bottom upwards, so that this air that you've got inside gets squashed, if you like. Okay? So how do you do the Mooladhara Bandh? You can also call it the anus lock. Ladies in their pregnancies are taught how to do this. They are taught to squeeze their buttocks together horizontally and then pull upwards, like you're pulling your toilet upwards, preventing yourself from going to the toilet. That's the best way to describe it, okay? So you then continue that pull upwards as you hold this lock. How long do you hold these 2 locks for? Anywhere between 5 seconds and up to 30 seconds, whatever is your capacity. As I always say, it depends on what you are able to do. Don't forcefully hold the breath in. Once you've done that and you continue pulling upwards from the Mooladhara, that's the key thing. So people just do the Mooladhara Bandh and they don't pull upwards, they don't suck upwards. That's important to do. Okay, then you'll feel that the effect, it will push the air all the way up to the thyroid. Okay. After, let's say you've held it for 10 seconds, you then bring your head up like this. When you bring this head up, this lock opens. Jalandhar Bandh opens, as does the Mooladhara Bandh. These 2 locks will automatically open as the head comes up. You will block the right nostril and you will breathe out the air that is inside from the left nostril. So there's quite a lot there. Okay? And this is a full explanation of it. So I want you to watch me do it. There's the mudra. Okay. I'm going to do a quick blow out. Then I'm going to breathe in. That was one Ujjayi Pranayama. Can you just visualize, see how that impacts? Okay, it's quite powerful. Now, the key in this is not only to hold the breath in, but to keep the locks held and to pull up from the Mooladhara Bandh. That's the difficult bit. So there's your cheek butts, they come together and then pull up like that, okay? And keep that held. And 5 seconds hold is more than enough. I don't know how long I held there, probably about 15 to 20 seconds there, okay? But only 5 seconds minimum. Then if you need to breathe out the air, you just bring the head up. That will open there, that will open down there. Don't hold the lock down there either. And then block the right nostril gently. Don't push it hard like that. Just under the cartilage here. Just press it gently. And out through the left nostril. Okay? That's Ujjai. And this sound is the Ujjai sound. Did you notice that the sound towards the end started becoming a higher pitched sound? They say once you get perfection in this chakra, this is a throat chakra known as Vishuddhi chakra. They say when you get perfection in this, the sound becomes the sound of Pancham Swar, Pa, the middle scale Pa. Yeah? So it does become that same sound. Alright, so let's try that again. You can breathe out, a long breathe out first, because obviously if you breathe out, then you'll be able to breathe in more. That's the whole purpose, isn't it? To fill up our lungs. So do the breathe out first, then tighten, breathe in. Lock. Head up, block the right nostril, out to the left, slowly. You might be very tempted to throw this air out very quickly from the left nostril. By the way, the air coming out is brushing against your thyroid and then coming out, okay? But do not rush the breathing out. Try and control it. So therefore, don't hold the locks for too long. Okay, because remember, this is part of the process of completing the breathing exercise, pranayama. This is to correct your thyroid and parathyroid glands. These glands here, along with the pituitary and the pineal gland, probably produce and control certainly almost every single hormone in the body. They don't produce all of them, but they produce a vast majority of the hormones and probably control most of them. Okay, so this is very important to correct this chakra here, this center here. Again, let's try that again. So your space fingers into the base of the thumb. Thumb is on gently, breathing in fully and with a tightened throat. It's slightly constricted throat, like this, and this sound will happen. Breathe in intervals or breathe in continuously, your choice. Lips are sealed through the nose. When you can't breathe in anymore, then lock. Jalandhar Bandh and Mooladhar Bandh, 2 locks. Then you bring the head up, open the locks, block the right nostril, out through the left. Well done. That is Ujjayi Pranyama. Okay. And you should do this exercise minimum of 5 minutes. I would say anywhere between 5 and 10 times, morning and evening. Okay. And if you've got throat related problems, you've got congestion there, you've got soreness there, okay, you must do this morning, afternoon, evening. Otherwise, if you're just doing it in one sitting, do this at least 8 to 10 times, okay? Right, I'm going to now explain Agni Saar. Agni Saar is called, Agni means fire, Saar in Sanskrit means stomach. It's the fire of the stomach exercise. It increases our digestive fire. The small intestines, the gut, and the bacteria in our gut, the lymphocytes, I think they are the good bacteria, which produce all of your ATP, your energies, don't they? ATP energies, adenosine triphosphate is like the main, which gives you the ability to do all of the tasks you do, yeah, whatever you want to do in the day. Now, you need good bacteria. You need good culture bacteria in your gut. This is why you should start eating certain types of foods which promote good flora, good bacteria to develop inside the gut. I remember when we were kids, our immunities, I think, were much better because I remember I used to eat even mitti. Mitti is earth. I'm not encouraging you to eat earth, but what I'm saying is we used to be like quite dirty, and we used to go out and play and everything, and like, you know, we were one with nature, one with the, you know, and I think we were none the worse for it. So I think immunities generally nowadays have gone down quite a lot. But a lot of this, the good stuff like the buttermilk, lassi, obviously not in the winter time, but in the summer times especially, it's very good because that is good probiotic. That's a probiotic. It promotes life. Biotic means life, if you like. It promotes the good bacteria in your life. It's not antibiotic. It doesn't destroy the life. Yeah? And that's why antibiotics aren't recommended a lot. Yeah, because along with the bad bacteria, it also destroys the good bacteria. Yeah, so you've got to have these kind of probiotics. So just do some research on what is good for the gut, for the small intestine. That's where the absorption happens. That's where 70% of the response of your immune system is. So if any diseases are going to form, they're going to form in the gut. People are going to start getting inflammation. Inflammation is a sign that some kind of disease is going to happen. Inflammation will come down with things like turmeric, having turmeric in water. Okay, but that's quite, uski tasir garam hai. That means its potential is quite warm or hot for the body. So you've got to be careful that you don't have too much. But if you have it in milk, they say, then it's not as, and therefore uski tasir thandi ho jati hai. Tasir, what is tasir? Anyway, somebody can tell me what tasir is in English, but it's capacity to hold a certain heat, if you like, yeah. And therefore, it's quite, people like me who used to suffer from a lot of cough and phlegm. For me, these type of hot things were good. Okay, and people, yeah, you know, opposite to me, it wouldn't be very good for them. Yeah. Okay, so this is all part of Ayurveda. These things you can look up, yeah, and Google. But it's important to start taking good, fresh, cultured foods, which have a good growth of biotic culture on it, growing. And lassi is one of those things, yeah. Anyway, so this particular exercise is to increase that gut bacteria and the good bacteria, for creating the environment inside the body to allow that to grow. And Agni Saar is basically creating the digestive fire, so that we burn the things that come into the body, the foods and drinks, and we burn it in such a way correctly that we are able to extract out the good nutrients and absorb them, so that they don't just come out of our feces and our urine as expensive feces and urine. Yeah, the good foods you eat, the good drinks you take, you want them to be absorbed, don't you? You want the nutrients to come out. So for that, your gut bacteria has to be good and your digestive fire has to be good. So Agni Saar is that. So it's very powerful, because really, after your lungs system, the next most important system, so lungs is your first source of sustenance, i.e. oxygen or air. That's what you survive with. But your second source of sustenance is this stomach. That needs to, second source of sustenance is the foods and drinks you take into your stomach. And your stomach needs to be good. Yeah? So, you know, getting all these kind of things like leaky guts is because you are not absorbing the foods. That then leads to those elements, those whatever it is you've taken inside, them leaking, the intestines not being able to absorb them, and then that leads to various diseases. Leaky gut, has been responsible for linked to so many diseases. Anyway, so we are trying to correct the gut. We are trying to create an environment inside which allows for good bacteria to flourish and for digestion to be good. Okay, for the digestive fire to be powerful and good. How do we do this? We breathe out completely. Now, in the previous exercise, we breathe in. Now we've got to breathe out completely. So we have to create a vacuum. When we create a vacuum, the internal organs all get contracted and the blood rushes, the oxygenated blood that you generated through bhastrika rushes to those organs and then basically nourishes them and pulls out the toxins. Okay. They see heat is heat and cold, isn't it? Yeah. Heat and cold in the body, or yin and yang, according to China. Yeah, that's right. The seed. That's basically it. So every food has a certain amount of heat, as I was saying, heat. Oh, thank you. So every food has the seed. Now you see, the reason why doctors in this country, unfortunately, don't look at food and drinks enough. Nutrition is such a small part of the overall study of medical sciences. This, by the way, is unfortunate. And anyone who disagrees with that really needs to study more. Okay? Nutrition plays a big part in disease. Well, when I just told you 70% of the response of the immune system is to what comes into the gut, how can the nutrition be such a small part of medical science? That's why it was such a large part of the Indian medical science, known as then, therefore it was known as Ayurveda, meaning life sciences, Ayurveda. Veda also means it's from the scriptures, but it also means sciences. Ayur means life sciences. Okay, so this tells you Ayurveda is all about what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, what seasonal food you should eat, how you should drink, how you should do this, how you should do. It's all about nutrition, naturopathy. It's all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's a big part of the Indian medical system, but it's not a big part of the English medical system or the Western medical system, the allopathic system. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's why, because those things are overlooked or not looked at in any great detail, they'll sometimes say, oh, you can eat anything you want, whatever you want. That's not good, because we know that that's not correct for the body. Okay, so this is where you need to do your own research. Yeah. And so going back to Agni Saar now, because I just went off on a tangent there a little bit, but this is all important stuff. It's all important stuff for you to hear. Like I said, absorb it, meditate on it, do your own research as well. Okay, so once you breathe out in this and you create a vacuum, the blood, the organs inside get contracted and the blood rush to them increases, helping to pull out the toxins. But at the same time, with the breath out, not only do we want more oxygenated blood going to those organs, we want to then fan the fire of the stomach, i.e. we want to create a movement. It's like, you know, when you're fanning the fire, if you fan a fire, the fire starts increasing, doesn't it? That's exactly the kind of thing you're doing with this. So once the breath is all out, a fire starts developing inside, and you fan it by pulling back from the navel, pushing the navel out, pulling back from the navel, pushing the navel out. Like this, with no air inside you. That's quite difficult to do. So you have no air inside you, and you are being asked to move the stomach in and out. Not like that fast, gently, in, out, as long as you can do anywhere between 5 seconds and up to 30 seconds again. Now, key points. People keep air inside. You can then keep moving the stomach. You will have no benefit. You need to learn to exhale fully. So spend time on understanding and exhaling fully. So I've seen people, you know, they've got air inside them, they're even talking to other people and they're still moving their stomach like this, as if that's going to be of any benefit. It's not. You must breathe out so much that you can't even utter a single word. And if you need to talk, you'll need to breathe in. That's how much exhalation of air you need to do. And then, once you've exhaled fully, then you pull the stomach in, out, but you cannot breathe in. Your air must stay out, and you are just moving the stomach in, out for 5 to 30 seconds, whatever your capacity, however much you're able to do. Once you cannot move the stomach anymore, and you do need to breathe back in, you must stop the movement of the stomach. And guess what? The breath will go rushing back in, lips should be closed, back in through the nose. So much so that you get a surge of air coming in, and you need to hold on to your knees, because honestly you could get knocked back. Okay, so make sure you're not sitting with anything behind your head. Okay, make sure you've got some space. Hold on to your knees, because what's happening is when you now you've generated the fire, you've been fanning the fire is building. Guess what? Now you suddenly allow more oxygen to come. What happens if you throw more oxygen onto fire? Boom. That's why you need to hold on to your knees. That's why you feel this digestive fire cleansing the whole of the digestive tract all the way up, and you feel the air coming, this heat, if you like, coming all the way. And I feel it personally into the third eye, and I take it into my third eye. Okay? So there will be this sensation, whether you feel it coming all the way up to your third eye, doesn't matter. But the point is, you feel this sensation that your whole digestive tract all the way up to your throat is being purged, like cleansed. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, again, it's quite a complicated exercise, and obviously, like I said, it's quite disruptive in that there's a lot of movement. So this is why I want you to do this exercise also separately, standalone, as you can do Ujjai for the throat, standalone, and obviously always on empty stomachs, all of these breathing exercises. But with Agni Saar, do it 10 to 15 minutes before eating your food, because it's like heating up the oven. We put food into, before we put food into the oven, let's say to bake it, we preheat the oven, don't we? We put on the oven, yeah? And that's what you're doing here. You're preheating, this is your oven, and the food, although it's already cooked, but it's going to go in, and it needs to now be, the proper cooking has to now happen inside, which is the pulling out of the nutrients. Okay, that is about to happen. So this is why you're warming up this whole area, so that when you do eat, your digestion will be much better. Try this. So do this before every main meal, and your two main meals should be breakfast and lunch, not the evening meal. Your evening meal should be the smallest meal. Ideally just dal, soup, salad, something like that. Okay, and you can always have milk in the evening if you wish, if it suits you and it's suitable for your body. Okay, right. So Agni Saar, we're going to breathe out fully. That's a long blow from the nose, but I'm going to continue blowing out because I can still talk. Now I'm going to breathe in because I need to just talk to you for a second. Did you notice how long it took me to throw all my breath out? And in that process, my stomach was going in slightly by itself. But notice how long it took. This is where people make the mistake. They don't put the effort to throw the breath out for as long as that. And it went out so much that in order for me to talk to you, do you notice how I needed to breathe in? It came rushing in. That's what we call a full vacuum, throwing out as much air as possible. Okay, you'll never be able to throw out all of the air, but as much as possible, so that for you, talking becomes impossible. Once that happens, then we're going to do the movement. So watch me again. This time I'm not going to talk, I'm going to breathe out fully. Notice how many seconds I'm breathing out for. Try and compare that to what you're trying to do. Then I'm going to pull the stomach in, and then I'm going to move. I'm going to keep my hand here so you can see that the hand is not pushing the stomach in and out. My navel is pulling in, navel is pushing out. Okay? Right. I've just breathed in first. Now I'm going to do a long breath followed by coughing action through the nose. Again, that was just one Agni Saar. You should try and do this exercise between 3 and again up to 8 times. Okay? Again, you can try and do this exercise for about 5 minutes. But did you notice when the breath came in, how much breath came in and how fast it came in? I held onto my knees because I was knocked back like that. It was because it's a huge surge of air in. And I had to breathe in and out a good 3, 4, 5 times just to get back into a normal state of breathing. Once you're back into a normal state, you can then do the second one, and then the third, then the fourth, fifth. Okay, up to 8 times is fine. 8, 10 times. 10 is too much probably, but 5 times is max really. You can do up to about 8 if you wish, yeah? So let's try that again. I'm breathing in so that I can then throw the breath out. And sit straight and hold on to your knees and breathe out. When you feel composed again, you can then try the third one. Okay. Now, I've given you quite a long explanation on Ujjai and Agni Saar. Yeah? And Agni Saar, by the way, is not a breathing exercise. Okay? Agni Saar is actually a Kriya. A Kriya just means an actual physical exercise. So it's actually not a pranayama. So that's why I want you to also do it as a standalone exercise before eating your food. 10 to 15 minutes before eating your food. Okay? After that you can eat. And these are very, very important exercises if you're able to do it. But the key is learning how in Ujjai to breathe in and holding the breath with the locks. And in this one, how to learn to breathe out and holding the breath out as you move the stomach and keeping the breath out as you're moving the stomach. Not to breathe in as you move the stomach, because that then you've ruined the exercise. Okay. And then when you can't move the stomach anymore, then you just simply stop the movement of the stomach. Your head is in neutral position. It shouldn't be looking down. It should just be normal, straight, the neck in line with the spine. And you just move, and then you just stop the stomach, and the breath will just come rushing in, as you just saw from my reaction. I want to do one more, sitting in front of the camera, just so you can see how long I'm breathing out for. Okay? Yes, the very powerful Kriya, Rekhaji, definitely. And it's such an important Kriya. Yeah? So I said to you, because I don't want your meditative state in the breathing exercises to be disrupted, I'd rather you do this as a standalone, and it's more powerful because it is specifically linked to eating of food and drink, because it's correcting your digestive system. Yeah? So that's why just do it before those exercises, before eating, sorry. Breathe in and breathe out. If you can't focus on the third eye, and I only did I think it was 3 Agni Saars, wasn't it? 3 or 4. So can you imagine how powerful doing 5 to 8 would be? I mean, already I'm feeling this heat generating in my stomach area. So, as I always explain, it's the quality of the exercise or the breathing exercise that is important, not the quantity. Spend time in listening carefully over and over to these videos. They're on my Facebook, they're for everybody to see, for everyone's benefit. But don't rush into it. Do it as per your capacity, but do think about it before you just rush into these exercises, yeah? And try and do them. Okay, so do this Agni Saar after you've done your breathing exercises. Again, repeat. What are the breathing exercises? You start with basic meditation, basic fundamental meditation to come into a relaxed state. This is your foundation. 3 types of Bhastrika Pranayamas. Okay, breathing exercises. 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out without a hold. And then the 6 seconds in, increasing that with the hold to 30 seconds and beyond up to 60 seconds, which we haven't done yet. And then the Kapalabhati, that was the Bhastrika still. Then it was Kapalabhati, then Anulom Vilom, then Ujjayi Pranyama. And I want to introduce, after Ujjayi, in fact you can do Brahmari Pranayama before Ujjayi, or you can do the Brahmari first, but that one we haven't done yet. Okay, but do these breathing exercises first, then do this Agni Saar, then eat your food about 10 minutes, 15 minutes later. Ujjai, do that standalone. Do that before you start your breathing exercise. You can do Ujjai for the throat, and do that as a standalone whenever you feel you're getting a sore throat and you need to correct your throat, or you're getting soreness. I mean, it will improve your vocal cords as well. Okay, but there's so many benefits of this. This, I would say, is a super pranayama. If there were 4, there are 4 super pranayamas. Bhastrika for the lungs, Kapalabhati, which is for the stomach and the internal organs, the throwing out the toxins. Ujjai for the thyroid, parathyroid glands, and Anulom Vilom for the brain and the whole of the nervous system. Okay. Let's just check the time. It's now 7 o'clock. I hope you all enjoyed that session. It's quite a detailed session, but we just spent it all on 2 exercises. I know it was quite a lot of talking, but it's there for you to listen back to, and it's as thorough as it can get, and you don't need any more than that. I hope you're all able to pick it up and benefit from this as much as many people have. And if you have any questions, please do leave some comments below. Let me know your experiences, how you feel the sessions are, and if there's any questions you have, and I will try and answer them. Otherwise, namaste to you all. And remember, it's Saturday, so we're not meeting again until Tuesday morning now. Nothing on Sunday, nothing on Monday. So Tuesday morning will be the Hindi session at 8 AM. I'm not sure about the 6 PM session because I have some work commitments now starting. However, I'm thinking about something that I might do, but there is enough material on Facebook for you to know all of that. Like I said, I will look at Brahmari Pranayama, so I may start, I might bring that one in on Tuesday, and anything else, but I might start focusing on specific diseases and just doing a session on those, maybe every few days or every once a week or whatever. I don't know yet, but let me think about it, and I'm sure we'll come up with something. All the best. Namaste to you all. Take care.